The stock I've chosen here is Walgreens Boots Alliance, WBA with the ticker. We're on NinjaTrader 8, and we've got our 6 time frames of 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute across the top, and then we've got 10 minute, 20, and 30 below. And we are on the VWAP itself, which is the foundation of the other 4 variants that make up this 5 indicator set. But the VWAP itself is the foundation of them all. The reason I've chosen this particular stock is because it was, to use football parlance for a moment, it really was a game of 2 halves. And once again, it does reinforce the importance of using volume price analysis in conjunction with the indicator. I think probably the best place to start is on the 20-minute time frame here. And as you can see, the initial start was perhaps not terribly encouraging here under this candle with good volume at the open of the session, as we normally expect to see. But nevertheless, it does, let's just pull this over, make it, there we are, make it larger size. As you can see, we do move above the VWAP itself. We then get this injection of volume on this widespread candle, which takes us higher. Fine, no problem with that at all. Volume and price in agreement. The worrying sign, certainly on this time horizon, holding this position much longer would have been the decline in volume here, given the rising price. So we're seeing basically a wider spread candle, but on volume that has declined from the previous volume bar. So not terribly encouraging there. And this really gives us the next candle and the next volume bar really tell us what is likely to come in the near future. This is a sure sign of weakness. We have a classical shooting star candle at the top here. We've moved beyond the envelope of 1 standard deviation, which is fine, but we've got a ton of volume coming in here and a very, very weak signal. Doesn't instantly reverse, but then we start to see the price waterfall develop. Now, what's interesting in here is we are seeing a price waterfall, but we're actually seeing volume decline as well. So again, it's using VPA in conjunction, it's using all the signals, and as we get to the bottom of the waterfall, the volume is falling away quite dramatically. So it looks as though this price move to the downside is coming to a pause point, which indeed it does as we get towards the end of the session. So it's really all encapsulated there. And as you would expect, the VWAP rolls over and we dive below the lower of the standard deviations, the 1 standard deviation there to the downside. So really the 20-minute encapsulates it there, and it's very similar across the other time frames. Just pull this out really to give you context of what we're looking at. There we go, that's on the 30-minute. And that was really signal. We had this long-legged doji candle up here of indecision. Now, a long-legged doji candle is not indicative of a reversal, but it's certainly indicative of indecision. And that would have been confirmed with the 20-minute, really just giving us that very clear heads up as to weakness expected. Drop down onto the 10-minute. What have we got here? We've got a nice 2-bar reversal. If we're looking at a shooting star on 20, then what we'd expect to see on 10 is a 2-bar reversal, which is precisely what we have, which is why it's so easy to overlap one over the other when we're looking at 2, more difficult when we're looking at bunches of candles, but certainly overlapping one candle on another when you've just simply got 2 is a very straightforward process. And then we've got the VWAP rolling over as we move into the decline in price. And that's really mirrored across all the other time frames. Let's just go down onto the 3-minute here. Exactly the same. This was later in the session. There we are, moving into that point there. And we've got declining volume here, rising price, declining volume. And it's just an indication that perhaps this rally that we saw. And again, note how we start to bounce off the VWAP as well. As I mentioned it several times before, it really does act in this way, acting as support or resistance depending on which direction we're traveling in, and then we move well beyond the 1 standard deviation up to this point where we get the reversal and back down, and then we get the rollover in the VWAP as we move into a bearish phase of price action. Very much on the intraday basis, obviously, because that's how the VWAP itself is used. It is very much an intraday scalping tool for day trading, whatever your instrument may be, whether it's futures, whether it's stocks, whether it's ETFs, doesn't matter, works in exactly the same way. Hope you've enjoyed this particular video. Lots more to come as always. See you soon, and bye for now.